Hello everyone, my name is Ineza Dive, and I'm going to present to you about climate change. Imagine living a future where our world is unlivable, not due to war, but due to climate change. Climate change is a big issue that needs to be addressed in high numbers so that we can have a sustainable future. Climate change is a long-term shift in temperatures and weather patterns. These kind of shifts are natural, but since in 1800, human activity have become the primary driver of climate change. And these are some of the causes of climate change. First of all, we have car fumes, and all as we know, in urban cities, we have a lot of vehicles that use fuel and emit fumes when they're in use. And these fumes bring up global warming and are the big cause of acidic rain. We also have deforestation, where cutting down of trees in large number is highly affecting our lives and society, where we find that the level of rainfall is limited nowadays due to the cut down of trees. We also have industrialization that is a big cause of climate change, where you find that a lot of industries emit fumes in the air that really affect our climate. We also have fossil fuel burning. This includes burning of oils, coal, and other related substances. So these really affect our climate in higher levels, where we find that we have acidic rain, we have limited rain, and others as we know them. These are some of the effects that affect climate change. First of all, the first effect of climate change is hot temperatures. So, as we know, when there is hot temperatures, ice caps melt, and as we know, ice caps help in cooling down the earth. So, when they're melting, the level of cooling also reduces. Secondly, we have increased drought. When we cut down trees in large numbers and we don't replant them, then it means the place where we've cut down trees, it is going to be drought because there is no plantations there and a lot of drought will be seen there. We also have loss of species where we find that many species get extinct due to cutting down of forests, burning of bushes. So a lot of species get extinct, which also gives us the effect number four, which is lack of enough food, because some trees and some plantations are food to people and also food to animals. So when they are cut down in large numbers and they're not replanted, then it means that we are going to have scarcity of food. So climate change doesn't impact people only, it also impacts people globally. So some of the global impacts I've tried to gather. There is stronger storms, droughts, as I mentioned above, droughts. So these floods happen due to cutting down of trees because, as we know, trees sometimes act as a barrier of water and they will prevent water flow. We also have melting of ice caps, as I mentioned above, and also rising levels of temperatures. So we may imagine what are the solutions for climate change. According to my research, there is a lot of solutions for climate change, but I try to gather a few of them so that we can look on them. First of all, we have the using of wind and solar energy. These are energy that don't affect the climate, and also the good thing, they are renewable, and I may say they are easily available and readily available. We also have planting of trees. So it is always advisable that if you cut down one tree, then plant two trees so that we can keep the life going and prevent deforestation. We can also use electrical vehicles, and these electrical vehicles don't leave fumes behind that really affect our climate. We also may think of some policies and governance that deal with climate change, and these policies will have to govern and give a proper way of going about cutting down trees, how factories work and how they emit their fumes. And we also have educating on climate change. I think when we educate more on climate change, people will have to understand the effect it causes, and there will be high actions to be taken so that they can prevent climate change. In conclusion, climate change is no longer a distant threat as we used to think back then, because nowadays it's a reality, supported by overwhelming scientific evidence and visible in our daily lives. So, as we can see, we have some risks that are already present, and that the impacts are globally and deeply interconnected on higher level. So, it is good for us to take action so we can prevent climate change and reduce its impact, because it is really impacting us, and our future will be miserable if we don't take action. Thank you so much, and this is the end of my presentation.